The WNBA thought they had Caitlin Clark all figured out, a once-in-a-generation scorer, a ratings goldmine, and the perfect poster child to finally push women's basketball into the mainstream. But what they didn't expect was her agent. Because behind the scenes, a storm is brewing, and Caitlin Clark's team is using the league's own new rules, the fresh, shiny CBA, to force a move so massive, so disruptive, it could change everything we know about the WNBA. From charter flights to marketing rights to potentially forcing her way out of Indiana altogether, this isn't just about a player trying to win, it's about rewriting the playbook on power, control, and what it means to be the face of a league. And the craziest part, they may actually pull it off. Caitlin Clark didn't just enter the WNBA, she exploded into it. Before she ever suited up for the Indiana Fever, she had already sold more jerseys than most active players combined. Her Iowa Hawkeyes games shattered viewership records across the board, making women's basketball a prime-time obsession. The league needed her, and they knew it. Suddenly, sold-out arenas weren't just a dream, they were expected. ESPN couldn't stop replaying her logo threes. The internet worshipped her. And before the season even tipped off, she became the highest-profile rookie in WNBA history. But while the cameras focused on her game, something far more powerful was happening off the court, something that would flip the entire league on its head. Meet Lindsay Kagawa, Colas Clark's agent, and the real architect of the chessboard. She's not just any representative. Colas runs the women's division at Wasserman, a talent agency with massive global influence, and has represented legends like Sue Bird and Diana Taurasi. But Caitlin Clark isn't just another player on her roster, she's the crown jewel. Colas has a history of disrupting the sports establishment by advocating for female athletes to receive not just equal pay, but equal power. She's the one who understands the media game, the corporate game, and most importantly, the league's pressure points. With Clark, she doesn't just want endorsement deals, she wants legacy-shaping leverage. And now, thanks to the newly signed collective bargaining agreement, that leverage might finally be real. The 2020 WNBA CBA was supposed to be a milestone for progress, better pay, better travel, and a more modern league. But hidden inside that agreement are mechanisms that someone like Colas could use as weapons. The marketing clause, for instance, allows players to earn significant off-court income through league-sponsored deals. But what happens when a player like Clark generates more eyeballs than the league itself? That opens the door to demand personalized marketing control. Then there's the newly expanded player movement protections, which were designed to support athletes but could now be reinterpreted as tools to force better contract terms or even team relocation. And let's not forget the long-debated issue of charter flights. The CBA doesn't mandate them for every player, but if Caitlin's team pushes hard enough, they could trigger a complete shift in how travel operates in the league, all under the guise of safety and fairness. Reports are already swirling from insiders. Clark's team is quietly pushing the envelope. One league source claimed her agent has presented conditions that go beyond any rookie in WNBA history. Translation? They're asking for things that simply haven't been done before, like partial control over media rights, guaranteed charter flights for select road games, and even outsized influence over team marketing budgets. Some rumors even go further, suggesting that if these terms aren't met, Clark may threaten to withhold media access or, brace yourself, even force a trade. It's unconfirmed, but the buzz is getting louder. This isn't just a negotiation, it's a high-stakes power play. And the agent knows exactly how to keep pressure on the league, the sponsors, and the public without ever having to speak on the record. Here's where it gets wild. There's growing speculation that Caitlin Clark may not want to stay in Indiana forever, and that her team is laying the groundwork for an exit. While she's been gracious in public, sources close to the situation say she and her camp are eyeing bigger markets, think New York, Liberty, Las Vegas Aces, or even Los Angeles Sparks. Cities with media empires, elite facilities, and brands willing to go all in. And with the new CBA's lenient terms on marketing and personal branding, her agent could manipulate existing clauses to initiate a shift, whether by triggering a future opt-out, leveraging revenue guarantees, or strategically pressuring sponsors to create market demand. Essentially, she could force the biggest move in WNBA history not with anger but with money and media momentum. Of course, not everyone is cheering for this plan. Behind closed doors, there's growing tension in the WNBA. Veteran players, some of whom paved the way for progress, are reportedly frustrated with Clark's perceived privileges. Charter flights became a lightning rod for controversy. When Indiana used them, some insiders hinted that it was special treatment. Angel Reese made cryptic comments about earning your spot. Even Candace Parker reportedly advised caution when it comes to spotlight monopolies. The mood is shifting. If Clark's agent keeps playing hardball, it might not just divide teams, it could divide the entire league into the haves and the have-nots. And if a player this early in her career is already dictating terms, what does that mean for the veterans who spent a decade waiting for a fraction of the same respect? The WNBA is standing at a crossroads. For years, it begged for mainstream attention. Now, with Caitlin Clark, it has it, but at what cost? If her team succeeds in reshaping how rookies negotiate, how media deals are split, and how franchises cater to talent, the ripple effects could be permanent. Other agents will follow. College stars will demand custom clauses. Teams will have to rethink everything from payroll to infrastructure. In short, this one player, this one agent could push the WNBA into a new era of player empowerment. But here's the twist. That kind of power could make Caitlin Clark less of a player and more of a brand. And the league might not be ready for that. The press is torn. Some praise Caitlin's camp for being bold and unapologetic. Others whisper that the entire league is bending over backwards for one person. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, sponsors are choosing sides. Nike has a massive deal with Clark and reportedly wants her front and center, while other league partners worry about alienating the rest of the player pool. It's a tightrope act. If the league supports her too much, they risk mutiny. If they don't support her enough, they risk losing the biggest star women's basketball has ever had. That's not a player problem. That's a crisis of leadership. At first glance, this might look like just another negotiation. But make no mistake, what Caitlin Clark and her agent are doing is redefining the rules of the game. They're using the WNBA's own system against itself, exposing its weak points and demanding it evolve or risk collapse. The CBA was meant to protect the players, but in the hands of someone like Lindsay Colas, it becomes a blueprint for domination. And while no one knows exactly how this ends, whether she stays, moves, or creates her own empire, one thing is clear. This is no longer just about basketball. This is about who really runs the league. And it might not be the owners anymore.